I can't hear you.
Hang. Oh, hold on one second, y'all. We got a little bit of technical problem. Hopefully, Jody can hear me now. But if she can't hear me, then check out the settings. Jody, make sure that you've got the right settings. If not, pull your headset off. So sorry, we're starting in a little late here. She's going to get set up, and while she is, I'm gonna do some rah-rah with you. Hi, folks. I see you there. Come on in. I don't see any comments coming in though. Come on in and say hello. Tell me where you're listening in from. We are here on day 3 of the Joypreneur Summit, interview 8. Oh my gosh, did she just say 8? Yeah, 8 interviews. Holy free holies. Last but not least is Jody Crotty right now. I'm going to tell you about her in just a second, but before I do, I want to remind you that every guest, every single speaker has a freebie on this summit. So go and look at the links in the description and definitely opt in so that you can see all the different freebies. I'm going to tell you what Jody's freebie here is in just a second. But remember, you get not only hers, everybody else today, everybody else on the summit, all of our sponsors. We're looking at like 40 things free. Pick and choose. Look at the ones that suit you. Plus, you get the agenda for our next session, which happens next Thursday. And remember, when you sign up for the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club, I will send you the pen of expectation in the mail. This is the pen of expectation. Everything you write with it will come true. And it's a limited time offer. If you're in the club and you don't have the pen, there's a way for you to get it too. So go check that out. Who's all here right now? Say hi. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, good. I love it. Maryland's in the house. Canada's in the house. Hey, you guys have been so good. I love seeing all these comments. Thank you so much. We are ready to rock and roll with Jody. We'll test out her audio once we get her out here. So I just want to let you know that Jody Crotty is going to talk to us about intuition, about being an animal communicator, about living your life with passion and purpose, because she is a certified animal communicator and a companion animal doula. So imagine being able to understand life from your pet's perspective. Imagine being able to help have the assistance of somebody when your pet is about to make their transition, like like it's their time, and how to make those decisions and how to provide comfort and clarity as you go through this. Well, this is what Jody does, and I cannot wait to talk with her about all aspects of being an animal communicator, but also how she's building her business using intuition and following her passion and purpose. So without further ado, welcome Jody Crotty. Yay! The crowd goes wild.
Now
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yes.
Yay! No more tech
Technology.
issues. I know. We're so good. I'm glad this works out just great. Jody, welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. This is going to be an amazing, amazing journey and just an experience. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know, we're gonna have such a nice chat. You know, the first thing right off the bat, like I have so many questions for you. You know, I want to talk about, what it's like to be an animal communicator and what it's like to build a life of really from your passion, the thing you love. But before we get started, I'm really curious about how it is you came to be an animal communicator. Like, how did you know that was your thing? What was this something you were born with, or you developed, or how did that journey go?
Well, that's a great question. And so again, it's something that we're all kind of born with. We are really all psychic. We all have intuition. It's just a matter of tapping into your own intuition. Ever since I was a child, I was always outside talking to animals, talking to the trees, talking to the birds. And we all have it in us. It's just a matter of trusting what we're getting with our intuition. And the animals are so good at mastering their own intuition. So by learning from them, I kind of grew into this part of myself that for a long time I think I dismissed, that I didn't think was possible or I didn't trust. So I started off, I think, just as a child, kind of being open-minded and willing to connect with whatever, whether it be the tree, the bug, the animals, it didn't matter. But I think for a long time, and as we grow older, we dismiss that part of ourselves and we don't trust it. And the
Yeah.
animals are really there to remind us of who we are all of the time. So that's where it started. And I then took it one step further because, again, trusting your intuition, you're curious, and that's where it kind of started for me. So I met an amazing teacher who kind of opened that intuition part of me and allowed me and showed me how to trust that part of myself. And that's how I kind of grew my business along with the animals. The animals were really great at kind of guiding me too. So I had to listen to what they said too.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to hear you talk, because I think a lot of us can identify with having that experience as kids. And it feels like it's kind of a big leap. Like most people would say, like, oh, I love animals, I'm going to be a veterinarian. Like this is kind of like the direction most people would head in. And so I love that. I mean, we have a saying, as you know, in the sandbox, which is kind of like, let your freak flag fly. You know what I mean? Like, how do you like just say, like, this is my freaky message to the world, or this is the thing that I do? Like, were you scared to come out and be like, I talk to animals?
I was. And it wasn't until I went to a medium. It was, that was the thing to do. We had a medium come over, and I was very skeptical, even though there was that part of you that trust and knew what you were kind of were. And she really said, well, you're surrounded by animals. Yes, I work at a veterinary hospital. Yes, I've had animals all my life. Okay, give me something I don't know. And then she really kind of opened my eyes to say, hey, have you ever thought of animal telepathy? And I was like, what is that? I don't even know. When you hear certain things and it resonates with you, and then that light switch comes on, it says, oh my gosh, that does make sense. Is that even a thing? So to identify with people who are feeling, hey, well, should I really do that? Yes, do it. It's not crazy. You're not crazy. So there was a good part of my life as I was growing up that, oh, she's just crazy. She talks to animals. And so I think as I got into an adult, I mean, it really kind of put a damper on how I was feeling in my mindset to say, oh, I can't do that. And so it wasn't until I found my teacher and my tribe in the PME club that said, yeah, let's do this. And I'm like, are we sure? And so that's how it kind of grew. And having a positive mindset and having a tribe that is very supportive of, as Dana said, that freak flack flying, it's so uplifting. So I
Yeah.
encourage anybody to let that freak flag fly.
Yeah, I know. I love it. What I was almost thinking as you were talking, like, there must come a point when you really make the decision that it's got to be so freeing. Like, it's got to be so freeing to go to say, like, oh my gosh, I can actually build a business from this. Like, oh my gosh, I could really build a real business from this. Like, most people do not get to really follow their true passions, their things that they're really think, like, I was meant to do this. I was meant to work with animals, and I don't really want a job cutting them up. Like, that's not my thing. And I don't really want, the other possibilities that you can do when you work with animals. I really want to help facilitate, communicate with people, being able to actually build a business from your passion. So just more power to you. And I'm sure everybody who's hearing this is feeling inspired to think that if you can do it, then they can do it too. And so I believe you, and I agree with you that all of us are born with intuition. And so before we get into the role of intuition in building a business, how would you tell people who are kind of new to this idea to maybe tap into their own intuition right now? Like, what could they do to kind of prove to themselves that there's a way for them to access their own inner guidance? Do you have any kind of quick tips or tricks where you could say, do this and it will help you believe in your intuition?
Honestly, Dana, it's that little voice inside your head. So that little voice, that little person inside your head, you're having a conversation with yourself. So that's where I would start. Observe that little voice inside your head. Take a step back, do some meditation. quiet your verbal voice and listen to that little person that's inside your head. If that was an actual person, how would you respond to that?
Yeah.
How would you look at that person? If that person was sitting beside you, just observe that voice. And I do that with meditation. And it doesn't have to be this big, long meditation. I have 2 children and multiple dogs who like to come into the bathroom sometimes. So lock yourself in the bathroom if that's the only place that you can find where you can kind of quiet yourself. That's where I started. Don't encourage people to go into the bathroom, but if you want to,
I think it's a great place to meditate. I'm down with that. You're absolutely right. And I want to be clear, because this is really such good advice that Jody's giving here right now. When she's saying, listen to that little voice in your head, we often think like, oh, you mean that negative voice that's saying you can't do this? And I know what she's saying, and I agree with her. No, we're talking about the other voice, that when you say, oh, I'm afraid I can't do this, and then there's that little voice that says, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do this.
You observe
Yeah.
the conversation.
Yeah.
You're not responding, because that little voice inside your head constantly talks. Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, it constantly talks. So if you can kind of do a meditation and just observe, you're not responding, then you can actually see the negative, the positive, and then that positivity the mindset of positivity grows louder and louder when you're just observing it. So if you are hearing a lot of negative talk, observe it. What is it about this negative talk? And bring that positive mindset back out. And I can guarantee y'all, there's going to be a few times where you're almost arguing with yourself about this.
So, true. But 1,000% true. The more you focus on that positive voice, the easier it is to hear. Like, it gets where it's not even quiet anymore. Like, it gets where it's right there for you to tap into and to listen to, and really to gain comfort from. I think, people, you talk about using intuition for guidance, but it also is it's very comforting. And just to know, like, to be able to tap into that higher wisdom that's right there at our fingertips all the time. It's such a blessing. And so let's talk a little bit about your clients. You now are really specializing, because you have had much experience, and your business has really been based around communicating with animals. So helping people who are just maybe having everyday issues with animals be able to communicate with their animals. But now you're kind of transitioning more into helping people who have pets who are ready to make their transition from physical into non-physical. So that kind of death transition that's happening. What made you decide to make that switch? What made you decide to kind of move more into specializing in that?
So it was my clients, and actually my business I was getting more and more clients who were heavily grieving the loss or the indecisiveness of what to do when their animal, because we love our animals so much and we provide them with so much. And when they're in that period, just like when we lose a deceased loved one, and we have death doulas is what they're called. And so in the human world, we have death doulas, people who specialize in coming in and offering support and comfort to the family and to that one who's crossing over. And so being a companion animal death doula is offering the same for our beloved pets. And so the clients were coming to me and they're saying, I don't know what to do. That's that first step that I took to say, hey, I feel like there's something here. So love Googled it. I ended up finding some amazing teachers who specialize in this. Again, it's companion animal doula is new. So it comes across as, when you hear the word doula, you think of a birthing doula.
You do. That's right.
It's all the same. You're offering that person, AKA that animal, support, comfort as they're making that transition. And so that's where it all began. And then I wouldn't even say certified, but I learned how to help people in that way, that coincided with the animal communication part. So most people think of animal communication as just communicating with animals that have crossed over. Oh, no, no, no. I've worked with dog trainers, behavioralists who are trying to understand their client, which is the animal. And
Yeah.
so it's interesting to get the animal's perspective in life and as they're getting ready to cross over. And so just having that person or individual like myself who can offer support and comfort to that animal and hold space is really, really important.
Yeah, I've actually had several friends who have used animal communicators, and my mother as well, when she was trying to make a decision. Because sometimes it's, you know, we want to make humane decisions. We want to do right by our animals, but sometimes we're just not sure, like, is now the right time? Is now the right time? Is now the right time? You know, there's this continual questioning or doubting of ourselves. And I could see where it would be so comforting to have somebody come in who really can make a connection, you know, an actual communication connection with the animal and be able to say, well, here are some things to consider, or, you know, your friend is ready to go, or whatever the case is. And I can see where this would be an up and coming new field. And so I guess I'm wondering, first of all, I'm going to assume your intuition led you to this as well as your clients. You probably decided, like, this feels like the next logical step for me.
Absolutely. And I know with my own animals, the human animal bond that we have, that bond can never be broken. And that even with my own animals, when I lost my beloved Papillon in June, right after I became, or when I finished my doula courses, um, it was so hard. It was really hard. And that, it, believe it was I can't even find words for it. I'm getting emotional right now just thinking about it. So yes, intuition, but also trusting it, because we have so many emotions that are going through our minds, but trusting that the animals were going to guide us. They do know when they're ready to cross. They will let us know when they're ready, even though we don't think that they know. They do. The same can be applied to humans when we have a beloved family member who, you know, is on hospice and palliative care. It's They know when they're ready to go. And sometimes, just like with animals and people, they may hang around until Aunt Betty gets there and then cross over. So animals are very aware, they're very in tune. And so having a space, we call holding space for animals. And if you are a doula, coming with an open heart and just say, I will hold space for you. Whatever you need, whether it be a human or an animal, is really important to the family member and the animal.
Do you know, it's so interesting because it's so obvious that you're passionate about this, and it's so obvious that, like, this is what you're meant to do. And I was almost thinking, we've been talking to several people today, and you're falling right in line with this, who are doing things that most of the world thinks is weird. You know what I mean? Most of the world is like, you do what? You know, and really, I was thinking to myself as I was going to interview you, like, how do you go out to the world and say so boldly, like, yeah, this is what I do? But I realize you don't even have to think about that because you're so passionate about it. You're almost lost in your passion. So I feel like this is a lesson for everybody who is out there. I don't care if you're selling jewelry, or if you have a business where you say, well, my business is boring, I'm an accountant or something, you know, like, if you have the kind of passion that Jody's exhibiting, that's what makes your business a success. You know, I can't imagine you doing anything else. Like, can you imagine going and doing anything else? Like, you were born for this, and you can tell that you feel like you were born for it. Like, how much does that conviction and passion play a part in you getting through the tough times and building your business? How much of it do you feel like you just keep going back to that, knowing that you're meant to do this?
It goes back to trusting myself that this was what I was meant to do, and being confident in whether people are telling me that I'm really crazy and I've, oh, you must be Dr. Doolittle. I've learned to embrace that part of myself, to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm okay with being crazy. And I think as I kind of get a little bit older, I'm okay with that. And so it does help, again, trusting yourself, trusting that gut feeling. It might not make any sense to you analytically, but you know in your gut, you know in your heart. And for those people who do a lot of holistic work, we talk about the heart chakra and leading with the heart chakra and doing all of these things. And I'm proof of that. If you're following your heart, whatever you want to be, it you could talk all day about it and your passion. You don't get exhausted. You don't, oh my gosh, I got to go and communicate with some animals. No, because I also, work a regular full-time job as well. And there are some times where I get exhausted from that. So those people who have multiple incomes, you can feel that difference. You can feel when you have a quote 9 to 5 job and you're coming home and you're exhausted. But then if you know that you have an event and you're going to be doing readings for people live and in the Newfoundland breed,
I was
I
just
get
going
so
to say that.
excited. I get so excited. I get to hang out with dogs and listen to what they have to say about
And
their
have
people.
them lick my face. Okay, this is my job. I get to have dogs lick my face all night. I'll take it.
Right. Or the wisdom that I can share with an owner on an animal that has crossed over. Horses are amazing. They're so well grounded. They're just amazing to connect with. And as soon as I tell people, oh, I'm an animal communicator, you can see the emotion come through, whether it be complete joy, whether it be complete connection. And then they open right up to me. And so that I feel is where I thrive the most, being able to connect to people through my business, through the animal, and share that part. It's exhilarating. I don't want to say it's like a drug, but it literally feels like a drug. So your passion could be, like a drug. It's like adrenaline.
Totally. And your day job, you work with animals too, so you're
Yeah.
doing, this is what is so kind of cool about you, Jody, is that, you have a full life. You're doing volunteer stuff, you're doing your business, you're working with clients, you're working at the day job. We're also working with animals. And it's like, it feels to me like, because you follow your passion, you follow your joy, you follow your intuition, that you're able to do all of this and still keep going. Like, how much do you think mindset is a part of that? Or how much are you living your life with joy because that's what's giving you the energy to be able to do all of these cool things?
It is. It's funny because mindset is a big thing. So animals, they come from unconditional love, and so they're here to teach us how to love ourselves. They come from, I don't want to say that, they just come from a better place. That's all I'm going to say with that, because they come from unconditional love. And when you're in that space of being around animals, you can feel that. And so the joy that comes from that, the mindset, I could have the worst attitude. I could watch a video of funny kittens and it'll make me laugh.
Do you know what? That's my cure-all, like 1,000%. It's better than anything, better than meditation, better than a walk in the woods. Show me a kitten video.
Exactly. So, for the logistics part of that, your mindset could be, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm so, but as soon as anybody, even those skepticals who don't like animals or anything like that, you show them a kitten video, then they're like, yeah, that was kind of funny. And that's it. That's all it does. So is there a link between mindset and animals? Oh, 100%. So whenever you are in that place of, I'm not saying whenever you're in a place of negativity or a bad mindset, go watch a kitten video. If you want to, you can.
Yes.
Totally. I'm not going to preach to the choir on that one.
You know what, Jody? They've actually done a study, and it lowers your blood pressure. It does all this stuff. You're giving the best advice ever. Totally.
Absolutely. And so it's positive mindset, I think, for my business has skyrocketed. me. So even if I wasn't in the animal communication part, even my doula business that I kind of going along with, being able to help people is who I am in that way, and being able to support people and hold space. Um, that's the mindset of that. I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. That's my
Yes.
mantra I say every day. And it's so easy to remember. I feel, even if I'm driving and I'm getting really irritated at people who are just driving crazy, I feel good. Even if you're gripping the steering wheel, people, I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. And so little tiny mantras or little tiny rants like that,
Mm-hmm.
I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. And it changes the more that you say it. And Dana has a plethora of rants and mantras for you. This was just one that I have
I
because
love it. And that comes from the movie What About Bob? One of my favorite movies of all time. And it's such a good mantra. Like you could just say it like, I feel good, I feel great, I feel wonderful, I feel good, I feel great.
and
So
watch your relaxation in your hands as you're gripping that steering. I feel good, I feel great, I feel wonderful. So
yeah, I love
work.
it. By the
Yeah.
way, Laura says my cat Sparky is enjoying this interview as well.
It's funny that you mention that, because as soon as animals either they feel the energy, so just like with animals who are afraid of thunderstorms or fireworks, they feel the energy. So if you are in a positive mindset, you're going to notice that your animal is in a positive mindset.
Yeah.
If you have a clear, I feel good, I feel great, I feel wonderful, they are going to have a positive mindset. And most of my clients, when I do on Zoom or by the phone, they comment. They'll say, oh, well, Fluffy came over. Fluffy's now laying next to me. He never lays next to me. It's your mindset, it's your energy that is now put at ease. It's comforting. And so the animal is coming in to help you, saying, hey, I got you. So that's wonderful that they came over. They
That
do
is
it all
such
the time.
good advice. It really is. And having gone to a lot of different animal communicators, I find that that's the biggest lesson I'm getting from my pets is just to be here and be present and be in this moment filled with joy. You know, like it's so simple and so obvious. Like the joy is right here if we want it. So I love this. Oh my gosh, Jody, this is so good. I hate to say that we have to wrap it up, but I'm thinking people are definitely going to want to know how to reach you. So I'm going to tell you how to get the freebie in just a minute. And I want to ask before we wrap up, like, is there any parting advice that you would give? If you're like, I feel like most of the people here, they hear this and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to follow my passion too. Like, it's so obvious. Like, what kind of day-to-day practices are you doing just to keep yourself feeling good and able to tap into your intuition? What kind of parting advice can you give everybody?
Take a moment, have grace for yourself. Have grace. Take a moment, whether it's hiding in the bathroom, like we talked about before, for just 2 minutes a day. That's it, people. It's just 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes to just sit quietly. Whether you meditate, whether you want to think about going to the grocery store later, just take the 2 minutes every day and just quiet. Don't say anything, flip over your phone, turn it off, don't look at it, just 2 minutes. I think we can all spare a little 2 minutes. And don't be surprised if a bird comes to your window, or you see a squirrel, or your cat or dog comes and lays with you. Just feel that moment of those 2 minutes of just being present, and then you can go off and go to the grocery store.
Jody, it's such good advice. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for being here. This is so, and I
So,
know, right? This was so good. And I appreciate all of you so much for being here and for hearing this. And don't you hear that and feel like you want to follow your passion? Don't you feel like, oh my gosh, that was just so good to know that I don't just have that negative voice in my head. I've got that positive voice in my head too. And I can listen to that one. I can choose to listen to that voice. It's these simple little easy things that 2 minutes, seriously, she's not kidding. And I know that that's true. It doesn't take an hour or 2 hours to write yourself. It just takes desire and the willingness to do it. I want to make sure that you know how to contact Jody. And so when you look at the link in the description, you're going to have an opportunity to get her freebie. And what she's offering, and I have this thing and it's incredible. It is the Journey of Love, the advanced care guide for the end of life support. And so what's going to happen is you're going to opt in. You're going to get the link where you can go get that PDF that she's got to offer. It's going to also put you in contact with Jody. So if you want to, hear more from her or hear about different things that she's doing, that's how you find out. Or you can also join the club and you'll hear from Jody in there too. So maybe you want to learn more about what it means to be an animal doula. Maybe you have a pet that you want to chat with her about. Well, guess what? When you're in the PME club, you can just tag her, you can ask questions, you can connect. And when you join right now, you will get the pen of expectation in the mail sent to you. Anything you write with it will come true. And I do ship it internationally. So you have that as your gift for a limited time that's available. I also want to remind you that when you opt in and you get Jody's gift, you also get the other gifts that are available. Interestingly enough, Carrie Driscoll, who works with humans and grief, she's offering her grief guides. You can get those today, right now as well. We have Carmen Kronquist, who's got the 9 keys to massive wealth and impact. You can get those right now just by opting into the summit. Oh, wow. This has just been so good. You remember that mantra that Jody just gave us? I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. If you do nothing, if you take nothing away from this summit, start there. Just start saying that little, I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. And if you saw What About Bob and you can have that visual in your head, it makes it even better, 10 times as good. Coming up next in 1 week, I am back here for another full day, 8 interviews. We have got so many good speakers on day 4 of this summit. We're going to talk about doodling. We're going to talk about body image. We're going to talk about how to get past burnout. We're going to talk about how to activate abundance, how to cultivate happiness, self-compassion, supercharging your mantras, human design, transforming your whole identity, and more and more and more and more. Oh, wow. How cool is the PME Club and how cool are all these different speakers we've talked to? If you loved Jody's interview and all of our speakers today, give a shout out and say, oh, hell yeah, in the comments. And we will continue to come to you in 1 week with more goodness on the Joypreneur Summit. Thank you so much for being here. I've just so enjoyed this. I hope you are getting as many good nuggets out of it as I am, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.